English podcast.
From Learn English with Joy.
Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Learn English with Joy. I'm Chris, and as always, I'm joined by my amazing co-host Emily.
Hi everyone, it's great to have you with us today. Whether you're walking, cooking, or just relaxing, we're so glad you're spending these next few minutes with us to learn and practice your English.
All right, to kick things off, let me ask you something. How's your English learning going today? Be honest. Are you feeling stuck? Like, you can understand most things when you read or listen, but when you try to speak, it's like your brain just freezes?
I completely get it. It's like you know the words, you know the grammar, but when it's time to speak, it just doesn't come out. Your brain is translating everything from your native language into English, and by the time you finish your thought, the moment is gone.
Exactly. I've been there too. In fact, when I first started learning English, I used to spend 2 to 3 hours every single day studying vocabulary, grammar, watching videos, taking notes. I was doing all the right things. But when it came time to speak or even think in English, I would freeze up. I still had to translate everything in my head, word by word, before I could say it out loud. It was exhausting.
That sounds incredibly frustrating, especially with all the effort you were putting in. You're learning so much, but the language just isn't flowing the way you want it to.
Exactly. And the worst part was, I started thinking maybe I just wasn't smart enough to think in English. But then something clicked.
Oh? What changed?
Well, I made a small decision. Instead of studying for hours, I told myself, I'm going to spend just 20 minutes a day focusing solely on thinking in English. No grammar books, no pressure to speak perfectly, just 20 minutes a day to train my brain to think differently.
And did it work?
It worked. After just 2 weeks, I found myself thinking in English more easily. I started describing things around me in English without even trying. My brain slowly stopped translating from my native language and just began reacting in English. It was like someone flipped a switch.
That's an amazing transformation, Chris. And it's such a great reminder that it's not about how long you study. It's about how often and how focused you are.
Exactly. And that's exactly what today's episode is all about. If you've ever felt stuck translating in your head, or like English is there but not flowing as naturally as you'd like, we're going to help.
Today, we're going to share a simple 4-step routine that will only take 20 minutes a day to help you build a habit of thinking in English naturally and confidently.
So grab a notebook, get comfy, and let's dive into the first 5 minutes of your new English thinking routine. The first step is really simple but super powerful. It's called narrate your life. Basically, it means you describe what you're doing in English while you're doing it. Let me give you an example. When I was first starting out, I made coffee one morning, and I whispered to myself, I'm pouring the water. It felt a little silly at first. But do you know what? It worked.
Haha, I love that. And I bet it helped you feel more comfortable with using English in your everyday life, right?
Exactly. It's a small change. But narrating your actions in English while you're doing them connects the language directly to what's happening in real time. It's not about memorizing lists of words or sitting in a classroom. It's about integrating English into your daily life.
I see what you mean. When you start doing this, your brain begins to respond in English instead of first translating everything from your native language. It's like you're building a bridge between the English words and your everyday actions. Over time, your brain gets used to thinking directly in English, no translation needed.
Exactly. This is where we shift from thinking in our first language and translating to thinking directly in English. It's a game changer. So, let's break this down into something super simple that you can try tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Here's the secret. Start small. Pick something easy to describe, like what you're doing when you wake up. For example, I'm brushing my hair. I'm packing my bag. I'm putting on my shoes. These are super simple sentences, right? And they don't need to be grammatically perfect. The goal here is consistency, not perfection. Just make it a habit.
Exactly. And you don't need to worry about whether your grammar is perfect. You're just making sure your brain connects what you're doing with the English words for it. You're training your brain to react in English naturally.
This is something you can do while you're going about your day. It could be brushing your teeth, making coffee, or putting on your jacket. The key is to speak the action out loud, or even just think it in your head. Chris, can you give us more examples of words we can use during this step?
Sure. Here are some simple action verbs you can start with tomorrow. Boil. I'm boiling water for my tea. Grab. I'm grabbing my keys. Wear. I'm wearing my favorite jacket. Tie. I'm tying my shoes. Pour. I'm pouring milk into my cereal. Stir. I'm stirring the soup. Brush. I'm brushing my teeth. Zip. I'm zipping up my coat. Fold. I'm folding my clothes.
Perfect. And these are everyday actions. They're things you do all the time. So, as you go through your day tomorrow, just try saying these things in English. You'll be amazed how quickly your brain will start using English in real-life situations.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Eventually, you won't even think about it. It'll just be your automatic way of thinking in English.
So, for today, make sure to practice just 1 or 2 sentences when you're getting ready in the morning. It's a simple step, but it will make a big difference. You're training your brain to think in English, little by little.
All right, now that we've started with step 1, let's move on to the next step. We're going to make this even more fun and even more useful.
This step is called name and notice. It's all about looking around you and naming the things you see in English. And trust me, this really works. I remember when I started doing this. One day I was sitting at my desk and I just started naming everything around me. Laptop, sticky notes, blue pen. At first it felt kind of basic, like I was back in kindergarten. But you know what? My brain was absorbing everything. Little by little, I started feeling more comfortable with those words.
I love that. It's simple, but super effective. When you name things, you're connecting the word to the object in your mind. It speeds up the process of learning new vocabulary because you're connecting it directly to real life. You're visualizing the object as you say its name in English.
Exactly. And this makes the words stick. The more you name what you see, the easier it is to remember. Your brain gets used to associating English words with objects in the world around you.
So, how do you start? It's really easy. Every day, just take a moment and look around. Find 5 things you can name in English. For example, if you're sitting at your desk, you might see, there's a laptop. I have sticky notes, a blue pen, a phone, a notebook. You can do this in any place, at home, at work, or even when you're out walking.
Exactly. And let's make it a bit more fun. How about a mini game? Challenge yourself to name 10 things in 60 seconds. Set a timer and try to name as many objects as you can. It's a great way to practice quickly and to see how many words you can recall.
I love that. It keeps things exciting, and you get a little rush when you try to beat your own record. You can do this anywhere, at home, at the office, or even when you're out and about.
Let's give you some examples of what you can name in different places. Here are some vocabulary ideas. Office, folder, stapler, keyboard, desk, chair, pen. Home, blanket, remote, mirror, pillow, picture frame, lamp. Kitchen, pan, sink, kettle, plate, cup, knife colors and adjectives. Round, smooth, red, tiny, wooden, big, shiny.
And don't be afraid to add descriptions. Instead of just saying pen, say blue pen or even tiny blue pen. The more details you add, the richer your vocabulary becomes.
Exactly. And remember, you don't need to focus on making perfect sentences. This isn't about grammar. It's about making connections between words and the world around you.
Right? So tomorrow morning, when you're getting ready, try this exercise. Look around and start naming everything you see. You'll be amazed at how much your brain starts to absorb.
You'll start feeling more confident using English words in everyday life. And this is just one of many ways to build your vocabulary in a natural, fun way.
Now that you've started with naming things, it's time to take things a step further. In the next section, we'll talk about micro-conversations and how you can practice speaking even if you don't have a partner. Stay tuned.
I absolutely love this next step because it really helps with fluency. We're going to talk about micro-conversations, short, simple dialogues you can have with yourself or imagine with someone else. And no, you don't need to be talking to a partner every time.
Exactly. I remember when I first started practicing, I would talk to myself in the mirror. I know it sounds strange, but trust me, it really helped. I would just imagine I was having a conversation with a friend or a teacher. For example, "Hi, long day today." And then I'd answer, "Yes, but I learned 3 new words."
That's a great way to practice. It might feel weird at first, but it's a great way to get used to speaking in full sentences and developing your fluency.
Exactly. The beauty of micro-conversations is that you're not aiming for perfection. You're just trying to get your thoughts across in English. The more you do it, the more natural your speaking will become.
Right. And don't worry about making mistakes. That's where a lot of people get stuck. The key is to keep practicing. Mistakes are part of the learning process. In fact, I'd say mistakes help because they show you what to improve on.
It's all about flow. When you do this regularly, you'll get better at speaking without thinking too much about the grammar. You're training your brain to speak naturally without stopping to think about every single word.
Let's go through some simple situations where you can practice these mini conversations. For example, imagine you're at a cafe ordering food. "Can I get a sandwich, please?" It's a simple sentence, but it gets the job done.
Another good one is answering simple questions like, "What's your plan today?" And you could reply, "I want to study English for 20 minutes. That's it. You don't have to create complex sentences. Just focus on getting your message across.
Exactly. The idea is to practice everyday scenarios where you don't need to be perfect, just clear. Try to use useful phrases you might need in real life, like, "I'm feeling," "I need to," "I'd like to," "Maybe I'll try."
For example, "I'm feeling tired, but I still want to study. I need to finish my work today. I'd like to practice speaking more often. Maybe I'll try watching a movie in English without subtitles."
I love these. They're easy to say, and they cover so many situations. You don't need to worry about making mistakes here. The more you do this, the more confident you'll feel in your ability to speak English.
Absolutely. And just remember, you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Don't worry about getting everything right. Just focus on speaking often, and the fluency will come.
Exactly. It's not about being flawless. It's about building a habit of speaking. That's where the real progress happens.
So, for the next step, take a moment to think about a simple situation, maybe ordering food or talking to a friend. Practice a short conversation, even if it's just in your head. Now that we've practiced narrating our lives and having small conversations, it's time to reflect. This is a simple but very powerful step.
That's right. One of the best things I started doing during my language journey was writing down just 3 sentences a day in English. Every night before bed, I would write about what I learned or how I felt about my practice. I started with small sentences, and after a month, I felt a big change. I became so much more confident in my English.
That sounds like such a helpful habit. So, just writing a few sentences every night really made a difference in how you felt?
Absolutely. When you write, you're not just remembering what you learned, you're actually processing and reinforcing it in your mind. You're telling your brain, "Yes, I've done this, and I've made progress." It helps your brain organize the new information and makes it stick better.
That makes sense. It's like how we remember things better when we talk about them. Writing down your thoughts really solidifies what you've learned and helps you see how far you've come.
Exactly. And the best part? It's easy to do. You don't need to write long paragraphs, just 2 or 3 simple sentences. This way, you can check your progress day by day without feeling overwhelmed.
I love that. And the good news is, you can do this anywhere. You don't even have to carry a notebook if you don't want to. You can use your phone or just record yourself saying what you learned each day.
Yes. And don't stress about perfection. Keep it simple. Some days you'll write more, some days less. The key is consistency.
Let's give you a few sentence starters to make this even easier. Today, I used 3 new words in a sentence. Tomorrow, I'll try to think in English for 10 minutes without stopping. I felt more confident today. I learned how to talk about my daily routine in English.
These are great examples. You can customize them to fit your day. Maybe you want to reflect on a particular situation, like a conversation you had in English, or how you felt practicing. It's totally up to you.
Exactly. And here's the secret. When you reflect, you're also reinforcing your progress. You're acknowledging how far you've come, even if it's just a little. Over time, these small wins add up.
And that's how confidence grows. Little by little, step by step. So, don't be hard on yourself if things don't feel perfect right away. You're doing great, and this habit will make a huge difference.
All right, so for today, I want you to take 5 minutes. Reflect on what you did in English today, and write or say just 2 or 3 sentences. It could be about what you learned, how you felt, or even your plans for tomorrow.
Keep it simple, keep it real, and remember, every little bit counts. You're already making progress just by taking time to reflect.
And once you get into the habit of reflecting daily, you'll see the changes in your confidence and your ability to think in English. It's all about being consistent, not perfect.
And once you get into the habit of reflecting daily, you'll see the changes in your confidence and your ability to think in English. It's all about being consistent, not perfect.
Now, let's test your understanding with a quick vocabulary quiz. We'll go through each word and its meaning, and then I'll give you the answers and explain them. Ready? Choose the correct meaning for each word or phrase. 1. Narrate.
A. To forget something. B. To describe or tell what's happening. C. To translate quickly. 2. Reflect.
A. To copy someone. B. To speak loudly. C. To think about something. 3. Progress.
A. Moving forward or improving. B. Staying the same. C. Going back to the beginning. 4th. Routine.
A. A special event. B. A regular way of doing something. C. A random decision. 5. Confident.
A. Scared of making mistakes. B. Feeling sure about yourself. C. Trying to be perfect.
All right, let's check the answers and see why these are the correct choices.
Narrate. B. To describe or tell what's happening. Narrating means to explain or tell a story or describe an event. So when you narrate, you're telling someone about what's happening or what you're doing, like telling a story.
Reflect. C. To think about something. To reflect means to look back and think about something. It's a moment of introspection, like when you think about your day or your feelings.
Progress. A. Moving forward or improving. Progress is all about moving forward, growing, and improving. It's when you make positive changes, like improving your English speaking skills.
Routine. B. A regular way of doing something. A routine is a regular or usual way of doing things, like brushing your teeth every morning. That's a part of your daily routine.
Confident. B. Feeling sure about yourself. Confidence is when you feel sure about your abilities or decisions. Being confident means you trust yourself and your skills, like when you're speaking English without worrying about making mistakes.
We'll see you in the next episode. Take care and keep practicing English, one sentence at a time. Emily. Before we go, let's quickly recap the 4 steps you can practice every day to train your brain to think in English, using just 20 minutes.
Step 1. Narrate your life. Start by describing what you're doing in English as you go about your day. For example, I'm making coffee. I'm walking to the bus. It's all about connecting real-life actions with English words.
Step 2. Name what you see. Look around you and say out loud what you see. This helps you build vocabulary in context. For example, there's a laptop, a red chair, a green book. The more you practice, the easier it will become to recall words quickly.
Step 3. Talk in small conversations. Even if you don't have someone to talk to, practice speaking out loud. Have a conversation with yourself. For example, "Hi, how are you? I'm feeling good today because I practiced speaking English."
Step 4. Reflect with 2 to 3 sentences. At the end of your day, take a moment to write or say just a few sentences about your progress. For example, today I learned 3 new words. I feel more confident speaking in English now. Tomorrow I will practice for 20 minutes again.
These 4 simple steps will help you train your brain to think in English naturally and confidently. And remember, consistency is key.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Progress is far more important than perfection. If you can speak just 1 sentence today, that's already a victory. Don't let the fear of making mistakes hold you back.
That's so true. It's all about building habits and practicing every day. As Nelson Mandela once said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." Learning English may feel tough sometimes, but every step forward counts, no matter how small.
So, if you've been hesitant to speak, here's what I want you to do today. Say 1 sentence in English. Just 1. It could be something simple like, "I'm feeling good today," or "I want to learn more."
Exactly. Just take that step. You don't have to speak perfectly, just speak. And with practice, you'll find it easier and easier to express yourself.
Thank you so much for joining us today. You're doing better than you think, and you're already on the right path. Keep going, and remember, small steps lead to big results. We'll be here, supporting you every step of the way.
See you in the next episode and keep practicing English, 1 sentence at a time. Take care.